Lots of people enjoy college sports. What some people don't know is that college athletes get nothing for all their hard work. They put in hours and hours of hard work to get their body in the best possible shape. They are very underappreciated. Being a student athlete is a full-time job. On a typical day, students will wake up before class, get in a lift or conditioning session, go to class until 3 or 4 p.m., go to a mandatory study hall, and finish homework or even study for a test. 3 reasons why college athletes should be paid is because other people make money off of them. They put themselves at risk every single time they take the field or court, and paying college athletes would help them with finances in the future. First off, they should be paid because other people make money off of them. Starting with the coaches. Coaches can make at least $100,000 per year to coach one of the major sports like baseball, basketball, or football at a school. These coaches will receive bonuses for getting to the playoffs, winning championships, or breaking records. You know what the athletes receive as a bonus? Absolutely nothing. The NCAA also makes money off of the players. They put on events like the NCAA tournament that makes them lots of money. They make nearly $1 billion in revenue just off of this tournament every single year. College sports teams often do much of the school's marketing for them while also generating revenue. Relatively small and unknown schools like Gonzaga University in Washington are known almost entirely because of their basketball teams. Without these successful players, colleges like Gonzaga would have to spend a fortune on marketing programs to attract out-of-state students. They also use the players' faces to sell merchandise and tickets. The athletic program also makes money off the players. Universities bring in hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars to their athletic programs each and every year, through donations, ticket sales, media rights, advertising, and anything else with a price tag. These athletes are symbols for their school and their program. If a school makes a huge scientific achievement or something, they might be in the newspaper for a few days. But the athletic teams are in the newspaper the entire year normally. Not only is the university allowed to capitalize on the celebrity of its players, but the players are contractually not allowed to do them themselves. The NCAA rules state that student athletes are not allowed to use their likeness for promotional purposes or monetary gain. This means that a well-known athlete cannot charge money for the hours spent signing autographs for the university and is able to use the athlete to generate hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars through sales and increased enrollment. If the NCAA claims that the education the students receive is enough, then why are they out of class so often? Whether you attended a Division I school or Division II school, the average sports fan is aware of the privileges these athletes receive and how much class time they get to miss. A tournament here or a travel day there, the time out of the classroom can add up pretty quickly. They use them to promote their program in all sports and recruit others to come to their school. It would be really orderly and easy. It wouldn't really be that hard if they tried. Players could sign contracts and they could be bound by those contracts. Then they would perform the terms of the contracts and as with the school. The NCAA leadership has said that it would be too hard and too complicated to figure out a system for this. But they were also somehow able to put together a college football playoff that makes them close to $1 billion. Players should also get paid because of the injury risk in sports. Something that could always happen is the chance of a possible death. There have been a few instances where people have been paralyzed while playing sports. One example is former college football player Eric LeGrand, who was paralyzed in October of 2010 while making a tackle. He was paralyzed from the neck down and only given a 5% chance to ever walk again. Here's a picture of him as he played in college, and here's a picture of him now. Another part of an injury is the recovery and time it takes to get back from an injury. Players get no compensation for getting injured, so every time they take the field they face a big risk. Each player should be given an insurance policy by the athletic programs to ensure that they are covered in case of some type of career-ending injury. Another reason that college athletes should be paid is because of the financial side of things. Money management is one of the most important skills that young people can learn, and paying student athletes even a small salary will help them how to manage their money in the future. Whether they go on to make millions or are forced to leave professional athletics behind, these skills are both practical and transferable for student athletes. A small salary would also teach student athletes how to save. Saving is an incredibly important skill that many young people don't take part in, either because they don't earn enough money to create a savings account or because they don't understand the importance of saving. College athletes usually have no income after they get out of college unless they have a job on the side while in college, which would be very hard with all the practices and going to classes every day. Most athletes end up broke after their career, and one reason is because they get no financial help while in college, which could help them when they go become professional athletes. It is reported that 80% of NFL players go broke after they retire, and 60% of NBA players go broke after they retire. Having money in college would also help college athletes in setting up a good future beyond just playing sports. They need financial advisors that can help them make good investments in college by getting paid so they are more prepared for the rest of their lives. Student athletes are stuck between two worlds. While the NCAA constantly affirms its commitment to its root values, it is also brokering deals with national networks to show live football games to millions of people. Too many college athletes put their heart and soul into what they do, and too many come out with no reward. Many people say that the NCAA has an ideal model for creating cheap labor. Not only do they expect athletes to perform in the classroom, but that performance also has to translate to the field. Should the athlete begin to feel the pressure of the strenuous hours they work each week, they get cut from the team and lose their scholarship and their vehicle with which to educate themselves. What the NCAA says when they enforce policies that leave their players floundering, both physically and financially, is that each player is just a body that is replaceable.